First thoughts on the game. Thoughts on Curry, 50 points.
Well, I wanted to talk about the 75.
Okay. Oh, you don't even.
yeah,
I wanted to dive. I wanted to dive into the game a little bit, but I want to talk about the 75 too.
Oh, what did you want?
So what's your okay?
First thing, I wish every player showed up for that.
100%.
I thought it was kind of disrespectful.
100%.
Unless it like KD's grandma died, that was cool. He didn't have to show up. But I mean, like everybody probably
AD, Russ,
they should have showed up.
Yeah,
I know Scottie Pippen was gonna show up. I know he's too scared. Softest NBA player ever. I knew. What's funny?
I didn't think Jordan was gonna show up.
I didn't think he was either. He was at the wasn't he at like
He was at the
Kentucky,
NASCAR,
the
NASCAR thing, but
he showed up.
I 100% agree with you. I feel like every player should have been there. There should have been a priority. Like that was a moment and where I got to look back at everybody's careers. Like LeBron walking through there, I'm revisiting everything that I've heard about LeBron since I've been alive on this planet. Like I've been alive since 98 and he came out in 03. So everything that we know about basketball, LeBron has been a part of that. Like
True. We don't even remember him in 03.
I just remember certain things about LeBron. Like niggas just know about LeBron when we were 5 years old when he got drafted. We just know about LeBron. You just know that.
True.
Oh shit. You just know that name.
That is true.
Going back in his career or seeing Magic right there, like walking out, I'm revisiting every single doc I've watched about Magic. I'm researching every single stat I've learned about Magic. I'm researching like Kareem goes out in Game 6 and he plays center and gives you 42. Like I'm revisiting every single good thing about what I love about the game of basketball. Like Isaiah Thomas, he got his 2 rings. Like he in that room, like y'all can't touch me. I beat Larry, I beat Magic, and I beat Jordan. Y'all can't even really touch me. I'm that guy. So him looking at like Steph and looking at like the other point guards that people kind of overlook Isaiah Thomas, like he wasn't that guy. Like Isaiah Thomas was that fucking guy. So just looking at those stories, what did you think about the 75 list? Did you hear Shaq's speech as well?
What did Shaq say?
He just thanked. He really just thanked everybody. Like he said, it really got emotional for him because he's in those rooms with those people that he grew up watching. Like he grew up watching David Robinson. He grew up watching, and for him to be considered as good or as great as them, it was just like a surreal moment. Charles kind of said the same thing. Like just being in that room. Like I just wish I could be on the fly on the wall on those fucking conversations.
Shoot, I agree. Well, I mean, the only thing I thought of was when the 100th anniversary. In 25 years, Jordan's gonna look old as you know what I mean. All those players are gonna be old as hell.
What did you think about the entrance? So, because
what was the entrance? I'm trying
LeBron got a good chair. I mean, of course they're in Cleveland, and I also want to talk about how he was right next to KG on the fucking. Did you see that?
Weren't they booing?
No.
KG?
No. Oh, I don't know if they boo KG. I thought
they did.
I don't know if they boo KG, but KG and LeBron were literally standing right next to each other on the little podium. So that was funny because I didn't see KG want to look over at all.
You notice how they had Jordan at the end?
They had Jordan at the end, and he had the loudest.
It had to be the end.
They had the loudest cheer for that dude too.
Had to be the end.
I don't know. I just Jordan came to kind of like just make sure niggas still know he's the GOAT kind of shit. Like I don't think he came for anything else but for people to know like I'm still Jordan.
Because he doesn't do anything. He's never really
active at anything NBA.
I mean, he did a dunk contest when we were like, he was a judge on a dunk contest when we were little.
Really?
Yeah.
Probably like 03, huh?
No. Like
02?
06, 07, 08.
Oh, 06, 07, 08?
They had that was probably the best dunkers as judges. Do you remember that? It was him, Vince Carter.
I think Dr. I do remember Dr. J.
Loaded. Yeah. Anyways, though,
any more thoughts on 75 team?
Some guys that maybe shouldn't be in there.
Damian Lillard, is that what you're gonna say? Who shouldn't have been in? Yeah.
Damian Lillard was not on the top 75.
Yes, he was.
He wasn't. No,
yes, he walked out and everything. Damian Lillard was on the top 75, bro.
They came out with that list earlier this year?
Yes.
He wasn't on that list.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
I don't think they did. I don't think he was.
He was on the list.
Kyrie wasn't on that list, right?
Kyrie's not on that list. Damian Lillard is on the list.
They had Dame over Kyrie?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, bro. Dame is on the top 75 team, bro.
Wow, that's kind of crazy.
You're not doing that? Not
over
Kyrie.
He hasn't really done anything.
Over T-Mac?
Oh, yeah, that's crazy. Over T-Mac, too. I mean, well, Dennis Rodman's not on my top 75. Reggie Miller's not on my. He's definitely not on my top.
Whoa,
75.
okay, that's disrespectful.
There's
very disrespectful.
There's probably Did everybody in the top 50 make it?
Yes. Because you can't.
But they didn't show everybody though.
Yeah, they did.
Did they show Will?
Yeah.
Did they show
like the people that are
Pistol
not?
Pete? Did they show Pistol Pete?
Yes, the people that are not longer with us, they got a little on the jumbotron. Like they showed Kobe, they showed Wilt. Like
well, people in the top 50 shouldn't be in the top. They shouldn't have been originally in the top 50. Some of those people.
But how can you then? How can you like rewrite? That's them there rewriting history.
I mean, because
if you think about it,
the 50th best player back in 2000 or 1990, whatever that first list came out, could be surpassed.
Oh, 100%.
That's what I'm saying.
But the skill level,
saying.
But that's like saying Jesse Owens, who was a 4-time gold medalist in 1940.
No, that's different because they're.
But you're going off the greatness that you were in your era. You're not going off the greatness of overall.
I don't really see it like that.
Because you can't just take niggas off if you're already a 50 greatest player.
Well, I don't think they should have been on the 50th list. That's what I'm saying. Some of those people shouldn't have been. Like Pistol Pete. Why is he on the 50th best list?
Bro, Pistol Pete was that nigga, especially to the white people.
He didn't really do anything in his career.
But
what's his stats? How many good years did Pistol Pete have?
Pistol Pete. Do you mean?
I mean, T-Mac. How is Dwight Howard not on the top 75? That's a crazy.
Bro,
list.
Pistol Pete averaged 24, 4, and 5 for his career.
Okay, wait. How many?
24, 4, and 5, bruh. That's Pistol Pete.
What did T-Mac average?
There's a lot of people I know you're talking about, Dave DeBuscher and all them.
I don't even know who that is. But Dwight should have been on that list.
T-Mac. What about Vince? Vince had a longer career.
He probably should have been on that list.
I feel like if you put T-Mac, you have to put Vince ahead of T-Mac only because.
Wait, is Dennis Rodman in your top 75?
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Because
if there's no way he's better than Dwight.
What do you mean he's not better than Dwight? He's a better defensive player than Dwight.
There's no way. I mean, Dwight has
three defensive players of the year awards, but
he was a top 5 player
for a
like
long
5
time.
years.
Yeah, I agree.
Dennis Rodman was never a top 5 player,
but
Dwight probably had like. Basically, what you're saying is if Dwight retired after his first year on the Rockets, he would have been on that list. So you're basically saying he played himself out. He played himself off that list.
I think
that's exactly what people are saying.
I think a lot,
and that shouldn't be the case. You can't play yourself off of. I think
a lot of what had to do with it is how Dwight is seen with his peers and also the narratives in his career. Like if shit would have went differently with him. And he wouldn't have been the smiling guy.
See, I don't see. That's why Reggie Miller is not on my list. I don't care about how many if you did whatever with Spike Lee or whatever.
But Reggie Miller has the stats to back it up, bro.
Oh, what's his stats? Show me his stats. Actually, I want to know that.
But can we finish the Dennis Rodman debate? Can we finish the Dennis Rodman?
There's
and
no
then we'll 100% go to Reggie Miller after this because I'll argue to the moon about Reggie Miller. Like
I think Dame's better than Reggie Miller. Now that I
can agree with that, but bro, can I just read you Dennis Rodman's?
You can read me whatever, but
75 greatest, bro. It's not best.
He was never like that.
But it's not best. It's the 75 greatest.
What does that even? Okay,
Michael Jordan, in my opinion, is the greatest basketball player of all time.
And who's your second?
Does that mean that he's the best player? Per se, no. I feel like LeBron has the best overall game to ever touch a basketball.
I don't even talk about that. I don't even know what you guys talk about.
What do you mean?
Greatest, best. You're
it, huh? No, greatest has to do with accolades, has to do with winning, has to do with also what you do on the court.
Oh, then he's definitely not on this list. Why would Dennis Rodman be on the list?
Greatness.
Why is Dwight not on the list over Dennis Rodman then?
Because he was already.
You're basically just saying who has the most MVPs, most trophies.
No. I can agree with you.
So that means T-Mac is not on your list.
I can agree with you.
So T-Mac's not on your list. Allen Iverson's not on your list because they didn't do anything.
Allen Iverson's definitely. He has an MVP.
So, but you know what I mean? T-Mac never won an MVP.
But what I'm saying is, if we're going based off the rules of we're not taking
Vince
the people.
Carter's not on your list.
Hold on. If we're going off the rules based on we're not taking people off the 50 greatest players list because they're not going to do that. They're not taking.
Dennis Rodman wasn't even on the top 50, was he?
Yes, I believe he was.
I don't think he was.
I think he was. Let's see.
I don't think he was. Why would he even? my whole thing is this is the top 75 best players to ever touch a basketball. Not greatest.
Oh, he wasn't selected in '96.
Not the greatest. Top 75 best basketball players ever to touch a basketball.
I mean, then Dennis Rodman doesn't fit that mold, but you have to remember what Dennis Rodman did. One of the greatest defenders of all time. Nigga averaged 19 rebounds a game one year, and he's only 6'5".
So?
He has how many rings?
So?
Intricate part of how many championship
So he's
teams?
better than T-Mac?
He's not a better basketball player than T-Mac. But
Yeah.
But greatness and what your narrative and your story is of your career.
There's no way you can have him over Dwight Howard.
But
There's
this
no way.
But this is what I'm talking about.
He probably had an 8-year stretch where he was good. Dwight probably had an 8-year stretch where he was just way better than him. And he basically played himself off the list. If Dwight Howard would have retired as soon as he left the Lakers, he would have been on the list. That's crazy. There's no way. There's no way.
I agree with you, but
and he was a top 5 player for like a cool 5 years of his career.
I agree with you, but you have to understand greatness has to do with narratives, has to do with career
Melo's not
story.
On that list. Melo shouldn't be on that.
What do you
list.
mean Melo shouldn't? He's a top 10 scorer. He's about to have 30,000 points.
He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything in his career.
He has 28,000 points for me to tell me that he did something.
Anything, though.
And he has a lot of accolades. He's also, well, I can't say he's a college winner, but still,
that don't mean anything.
That doesn't mean anything in the NBA's greatest 75 players. But he's one of the 75 based on talent.
So who shouldn't have been on your list then? You're basically saying that T-Mac and Vince Carter, who are you going to take off?
No, the question is, who are you going to take? I'm taking off the Dave DeBuschers of the world, the Paul Arizins of the world.
You Jesse Owens, in their era.
That's why
they were in the top. They probably were in the top 50. Right?
Okay, but what I'm saying, they were in the top 50. They were in the top 50.
So you can't even take them.
What
off.
I'm telling you,
you just told me a rule that you just broke.
What I'm telling you is my 75 greatest players list. Those niggas are not on it for me. For this list, if I have to take the 50 greatest players of all time, and I have to just add 25 names to that.
Add 25 names to that.
Out of the 25 names, I'm probably not going to add Dame Lillard right now, but I'm not mad at that because I love Dame Lillard. But let's see the 25 names they added to
Dame's not on my top 25, I think.
He's not in yours?
He is. Yeah, I had to think about it. He's in my top 25. I think Kyrie should probably be on there. But then I'm projecting. I mean, AD was on there.
Okay,
AD,
so
if AD retired right now, he's not greater, quote unquote, than Dwight. I mean, he has a ring and that's it.
He has a ring.
He's only had like how many good
years? He's PER Prince. He has the highest PER in NBA history.
He's hurt every other week.
But he has the highest PR in NBA history. He's greater. I feel like he's great. Anthony Davis right now is greater than Dwight Howard would be if they both retired right now.
Well, Dwight's
already done. But
was AD a top 5 player ever in his career?
I think he was regarded as a top 5 player, especially in 2016, 2017.
Who was your top 5? It was LeBron, Curry, Harden, and Westbrook probably.
I would.
But for a while, DeMarcus was basically just better than AD.
I agree, but AD is always. I'm telling you, it's all about storylines and narratives, bro. AD is one of the most talented players to ever put a basketball jersey on.
I thought you said it was about greatness, though.
It's about greatness and the narratives. Can you look greatness? This is how
I don't see it like that.
But this is how
I don't care if Dennis Rodman played on the Bulls. I'm just talking about because if greatness, then Dame really hasn't done anything in his career besides hit a couple clutch shots.
Okay, let me read you the 25.
Right?
Let me read you the 25. Ray Allen, Carmelo Anthony.
That should be on the list.
Elgin Baylor.
He should be. He wasn't on the top 50.
No, that's very shocking to me.
Wow.
Dave Bing.
I don't know who that is.
Kobe, Billy Cunningham.
I don't know who that is.
Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, Dave DeBuscher. Yes, that nigga's not getting on my list. I'm sorry. I don't even know anymore.
Actually, I want to hear his stats.
Dave DeBuscher?
Yeah. Yeah. How many All-Stars how many All-Star teams? How many? Because what is a top 75 player to me? Because to me, that's like you at least made like 7 or 8 All-Star games at the very, very least. And you probably averaged
So he's a 2-time champion, 8-time All-Star, 6-time All-Defensive First Team.
Oh, he's on that list. What the 6-time All-Defensive First Team? Oh, he's definitely.
Then Rodman's on the list. If Rodman's 10 times defensive on he's on the list for 10 times.
No, but there's better players than Rodman in my opinion.
The most this nigga average was 18 and 66 and 67.
Six.
I'm sorry. Anytime somebody's, I don't want to. I just can't. I'm sorry.
So he's not on your list.
Not over Tracy McGrady. I'm sorry, not over Tracy McGrady.
Oh, hey, we never looked at Reggie. Did Reggie Miller?
Oh yeah,
Reggie
we're gonna
Miller
go to that. We're gonna go to that. Okay,
this whole podcast is gonna be on this list.
LeBron James, damn near Mike. LeBron James, Jason Kidd, Kawhi Leonard, Damian Lillard, Pete Maravich, Bob McAdoo.
Pistol Pete? He was on the top 50.
Pete Maravich. No, he wasn't on the top 50. I don't know.
Okay, could just continue.
Yeah. Bob McAdoo, Reggie Miller, Earl Monroe, Shaquille O'Neal, Gary Payton. Shaq was already on the list, I thought, of the 50.
Yeah, what are you talking about? This
says the final 25 are.
Okay.
Gary Payton, Dennis Rodman, Dolph Schayes.
Oh, you gotta click on it. You're gonna have to look up his stats after this.
Dwayne Wade, Russell Westbrook, Lenny Wilkins, and Dominique Wilkins.
Why does Lenny Wilkins sound familiar to me?
Lenny Wilkins, he was a coach too. That's why.
You're gonna have to look up the Lenny Wilkins and
this Dolph.
So Rodman was on the top 50.
No, Rodman. No, this is the added.
Rodman wasn't added. You didn't say his name.
No, this is what they added.
Dennis Rodman was not added. He
was not on the top 50. He was not on the top 50.
You didn't say Dennis Rodman.
He was not on. No, he was not on the top. Yes, I did say Dennis Rodman's name.
You didn't.
Yes, I did.
Did you finish
it's right
the
here.
list?
Yes, I said Gary Payton, Paul Pierce, Dennis Rodman, and then the Dolph guy.
Oh, I didn't even hear you say Paul Pierce.
Yeah,
okay, you gotta click Dolph and Lenny Wilkins.
So
you
I'm
gotta
looking at Dolph.
Stats.
I'm looking at Dolph right now. Dang, he played a long time ago. 12-time All-Star.
Oh yeah, he's on the list. 12 times.
12-time All-Star.
Okay. What else?
He averaged 25 his career.
Oh, he's on the list.
Yes. Yeah.
So he's not. Is he on your list?
He's not on my list.
Oh no, he's definitely on the list. 12 times. That's insane.
And then we gotta look up Lenny Wilkins' stats. This is. If we ever had like an older dem, they would probably be screaming at us right now for looking up Lenny Wilkins' stats.
I mean, those guys are. They don't even. They're old as heck. Lenny Wilkins.
My dad would probably scream at me.
What year did Lenny Wilkins play?
See, I know him as a great coach. He played from 60 to 75.
Oh, our parents probably know who that is.
22.4 was his career high. So let's look at his accomplishments.
How many All-Stars?
He's a 9-time All-Star. NBA assist leader.
He has the most assists?
No, for a season.
Oh, really? Oh, that's dope.
He's a great coach, like I knew already, but I don't know about player, bro.
Oh, you gotta look up Reggie Miller. 24 points a game. And eight All-Stars. I think that's my minimum. You got to have like 7 or 8 All-Stars. You have to be good for at least 7 or 8 years to even be questionable on this.
I can't believe we're really about to have a Reggie Miller argument right now. It's ridiculous. Reggie Miller is a 5-time All-Star.
Oh, he's not 5 times? There's no way he could be on any. There's no way. I'd rather have an older guy. There's no way he could on this top 75 list.
Can you stop?
5 times? You're talking about you made the All-Star team 5. I don't even have to listen to anything else you say.
Why? Can you go back to the times and can you go back to the All-Star selections and can you go back to who was in his conference every fucking time?
5 times?
What do you mean? Who was in his conference?
What else? What
do you mean? What else?
What else is it? Is he
50, 40, 90 club?
No, I'm talking about what other. That's it. Is this 5-time All-Star?
3rd-time All NBA third team.
3rd team.
50, 40, 90 club.
That's all he has, right?
Bro, he's one of the most clutch players.
What does the White have? How many All-Stars does the White have?
Are we really gonna do based off All-Star selections? Are we really gonna do based off All-Star selections?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
No,
that's a good basis.
I don't think that's a good basis.
You were only good for 5 years.
I don't think that's a good basis because fans are voting for All-Stars.
Not when he was playing.
Zaza Pachulia gets All-Star.
Reggie Miller.
When Dwight Howard was playing. Let
me see Dwight Howard's. We're not gonna go by All-Stars. What are you talking about?
We're not going. You can't judge a top 75 player. Stop.
Fans vote on.
I don't give
starters.
a fuck about what the fans think because the fans don't know. Dwight is a 8-time All-Star.
So he
3-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Wow.
4-time All-Defensive First Team.
Wow.
5-time NBA rebounding leader. 2-time blocks leader.
Wow. I want to see Dennis Rodman because I'm gonna see Dennis Rodman too. You gotta tell me his stats.
He never averaged over like 10 points.
Well, I'm just talking about accomplishments.
Dennis Rodman was that guy, bro. 5-time champion, 2-time All-Star.
No way he's on. He can't be on the list.
2-time Defensive Player of the Year.
2-time All-Star cannot be on the list. I'm sorry.
7-time Defensive Rebound Champ. Stop. Come on.
I know
man.
he's not on my list. There's no way.
Come on.
There's no
bro.
way.
There's
no way. There's no way you can take off a guy that's been to 12 All-Star teams because you don't know his name and he played in the 60s.
Bro, you gotta stop.
Compared to, and you did this whole spill on. Oh, if Jesse Owens raced right now, he wouldn't even be in the Olympics.
Yeah,
he couldn't even qualify.
Yeah.
Bro,
it's based off the greatness of that era. But I'm saying this is my list. The list that I will compile for the NBA would be with those old niggas. That's why the Dave DeBuschers of the world. That's why.
So wait, why are you okay?
I'm talking about my list. I'm talking about Cayman's list. Cayman's list has T-Mac. Cayman's list has T-Mac and Vince Carter on it because I know they're better basketball players. Kyrie Irving is a better basketball player than the people back in the day. So that's why my list. That's why my list would be like that. But for the NBA's list, I understand why Dennis Rodman would be on there. I understand why.
I'm arguing off of the NBA list. Dennis Rodman should not be on there. Reggie Miller.
Reggie Miller? Are you serious? After he led a franchise for how many years?
Yeah,
and you're talking about All-Star selections because Jordan was on.
He shouldn't be on it.
Bro,
He's not that good.
Who are the forwards and the guards?
How much did Reggie Miller average in his career?
He averaged 18 a game.
Dame is a better basketball player than Reggie Miller. He's literally who else? I want to see Tracy McGrady's and Vince Carter's stats too, because I don't know why they didn't make the list. I could see maybe Vince because Vince literally outplayed himself off that list. I feel like
you don't retire.
Yeah, I really feel like that makes a difference.
Sheesh, Tracy, 32 a game, 7-time All-Star. 2-time all NBA first team. That fucking matters when you have Kobe Bryant.
That matters. I mean,
02 and 03. That matters when you have Kobe Bryant in the league.
It doesn't matter if you're Reggie Miller though. But continue.
3-time All NBA second team. 2-time All NBA 30 team. 2-time NBA scoring champion. Most improved player in 2001. His career high in points for a year was 32. He averaged 32. His average over his career was 19, 5 and 4.
No, he's on a list. I mean, he had a couple of down years. And what was Vince Carter's? His average is going to be poop.
Yeah, it's going
to be terrible. Yeah.
Those last 5 years don't mess up his. Vince Carter was really that guy, though. Vince's average is 16, 3 and 4.
Accomplishments.
8-time All-Star, All NBA second team. Oh, Tracy is better than him. All NBA third team, NBA Rookie of the Year. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I never heard the spiel when people said Vince should have been on the list.
Vince had those years in the beginning and where people.
But I could see why he could be. This is what I think a top 75 player is in my book.
Okay,
you got to have 7 or 8 All-Star games. Period. I mean, that just proves that over the decade for when you played, you were what is an All-Star like? A top 6, top 3 position
player in their position
and their conference too. Right.
Okay.
7 or 8 All-Star, and I mean that's really it. If you're not a 7-time or 8-time All-Star, like, are you really like?
But you can't.
Like Dennis Rodman is really a top 75 best basketball player to you. Dennis Rodman is the equivalent to like Who's somebody that can't shoot but just gets rebounds now? I don't know.
They can't get rebounds like this. He's better than Draymond Green or somebody like that.
I mean, the game is way different now, so I don't want to compare that. Like,
that's what I'm saying. But when you look at Reggie's stats too, when a team is averaging,
Reggie isn't even in this conversation.
When a team is averaging five,
he's off.
3-point attempts a game.
You cannot. There's no way.
And he's the best 3-point shooter. If he had 10 attempts, he'd be averaging 30.
There's no way. There's no way he's on the list.
You're wilding.
There's no way.
You're wilding.
Reggie Miller. There's a reason why he was on the top 50.
What did he mean? But what did he mean to basketball too? Does that matter?
That doesn't mean anything to me. I'm talking about the best players. I guess greatest doesn't mean best anymore, but
it definitely doesn't.
But that's my whole spiel.
Well,
so Dwight should have been on it. McGrady.
So you're taking Reggie off. You're taking Dennis off. Who else are you taking off?
Off that top 25.
Lenny Wilkins.
Lenny Wilkins, no, he'd be on it. Just because you don't know somebody doesn't mean they can't be. Doesn't mean they're not good.
Dave DeBusschere, Dave Bing.
Whoa, yeah. What were their stats? Dave Bing. Didn't we look one of them up?
We didn't look up Dave Bing yet. I don't believe so.
I mean, with that one guy, you said 12-time All-Star, 6-time first All.
He the mayor of Detroit. 7-time All-Star, 2-time All NBA first team. Oh. Okay, yeah. Average 20 for his career.
Yeah, like he's on the list.
I guess there's just a lot of people that we don't know.
Yeah, you have no idea who these people. Two-time All NBA
but it's
first
just
team.
Hard.
First team means you're the best.
You're
at
your position for that year.
Yes, for 2 years.
You were the best at your position.
That's insane. Not many people can say that. Remember 12-time All-Star, All-NBA first team 6 times, and he's off your list?
He's off my list, bro.
He's off your list, and you replaced him with...
Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie could possibly... He's probably on that list.
So the people that didn't make it, Bernard King, Vince Carter, Dikembe Mutombo, Yao Ming, Walt Bellamy, Penny Hardaway, Grant Hill, Tracy McGrady, Adrian Dantley, Artis Gilmore, and Dwight Howard. Also Klay Thompson. Penny and Grant are 2 people to me that
could be off the list.
It's just the what ifs. Those are just 2 of the biggest what ifs ever in NBA history.
Yeah,
Grant Hill and Penny. But I mean, top 25. All these people are gonna make it. So what are we gonna be?
What do you mean top 25? What are you talking about?
I mean the next 25. The next 25 after it's NBA 100.
Oh, I'm still on the. Some people shouldn't even be on the list to begin with.
Bro.
They're taking up space. They really are taking up space.
But this is, you gotta think, this is a solidified list, so it's not gonna go nowhere.
No, that's why I'm arguing this list. Dwight is better than.
I agree. Dwight should have been on there, but you go more into detail about you playing yourself out of.
And that shouldn't happen. This is basically like an image cool kid club, basically, because everybody in the NBA gets into the Hall of Fame. If you're like an alright player.
I agree.
So this is the actual like the cool kid club, top 75 players ever. You want to be on this list.
I'm just telling you that there a lot, like we said, I believe on the last podcast, a lot of stuff has to do with your story and where you got drafted,
and I don't believe that I don't believe that should be the case.
It shouldn't, but this is the way shit goes.
I totally disagree, and I'm not even talking about just your story. I'm talking about the player themselves. But
I feel like the media, like Stephen A. could say something on TV right now, and it can create a narrative in a player's career that could like be the rest of the season. Like I feel like
you would believe that, and that would be on your. It
would be something I think about.
I don't care about that. I just care about what you did as a player. So my list is as unsubjective, unbiased as possible. I don't care if you play with Jordan. I don't care if you dapped up Spike Lee in a playoff game.
He did more than that, bro. 8 points in 9 seconds.
I don't care what you did. One of the clutchest players of all time. I'm talking about who you are individually as a basketball player. What is Draymond Green's accomplishments? I feel like he's gotten robbed out of a couple defensive player of the years, but it's cool.
Definitely this year, if he wouldn't got hurt, this would have been his. He was on fire. Been his
award. Rudy Gobert
got 3.
Dennis Rodman is literally Rudy Gobert, but
don't
like
disrespect him.
6 inches
don't
shorter.
Disrespect
but
him.
Like 6 inches. That is literally the equivalent.
So 3-time champ, 4-time All-Star, All NBA second team in 2016, which is really good. All NBA third team in 2017. Defensive player of the year, 4-time All Defensive first team.
No, Rodman is better than him.
Rodman's way better than Draymond.
Yeah, Rodman is better than him. Draymond is good though.
He's great. He'll be on the top 100, I believe.
Maybe we'll see. I mean, only four-time All-Star. That's not that.
And he's not making another. He made this year.
Well,
he can make another year.
Well, apparently All-Stars don't mean anything to you, right?
Not right now.
Because I guess Reggie Miller just
you can't based off.
Reggie Miller can have 5 All-Stars and he's just
you can't because you can't base stuff.
Crazy.
You can ask Jordan and them.
Jordan probably don't even know some of these players on the list. Jordan for surely does not know every player on this list. You're gonna have to ask Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He knows every player on this list.
I also think that what your peers say about you is important in how
I don't believe
talk
that at
about
all.
You. Whoa.
They be having grudges and shit like that. Are you
But if somebody
kidding me?
says if somebody says
they be having apparently Gary Payton can lock up Michael Jordan.
Who?
Gary Payton can lock up Michael Jordan.
He could. That's what he said.
These old guys really think they.
What was the numbers? What was the numbers though?
You think Gary Payton can lock up Michael Jordan?
Nobody can lock up Michael Jordan.
That's what I'm
But he
saying.
made it hard on him.
He
made it very hard on him.
That man had an off game.
He had 2 off games?
Yeah.
He had 2 off games.
Yeah, you could have 2 off games. Bro, these old heads really think they're like 20 times better than they actually are.
So what do you think about basketball in the 90s versus basketball now? Because Jordan's still your GOAT.
Oh, for sure. He's the GOAT.
So if he's your
GOAT. It's a lot more skill-based now. Like, you can't just be tall and big. And
was Jordan just tall and big and he jumped high?
Rodman would be ran off the court right now.
You're wilding.
Wait, hold up. He wouldn't even be playable in the fourth quarter.
Why?
Because he couldn't. There's nothing you can do with him. He's too short to be a pure center.
This small ball now. He would be your center now.
He can't do anything offensively. What would he do?
It doesn't matter about offense. You get rebounds, offensive rebounds.
Offense means everything in the NBA.
Offensive rebounds, second chance points.
Offense means more. It's more important than defense. Are you kidding me?
Second chance. I 100% agree with you. But second chance points.
Nah,
Dennis Rodman could find a place.
He would literally be ran off the court. He's Rudy Gobert minus a cool 7 inches. That's crazy.
You're wilding.
That is crazy.
You're wilding. But yeah, NBA 75.
Like, can you imagine Shaq? I mean, can you imagine Chuck trying to post up somebody now at like, what is he, 6'5"?
I mean, them niggas was big back then, and I think Charles would average 30 in today's game. I don't even think it would be close.
I'm gonna disagree. I don't believe like Jordan and all them would average like 40 points. I think they would just be the same. I think everything evens out.
I think that's what levels greatness.
You're basically saying it's harder to score back then. You're basically saying if KD went back in the 90s, he wouldn't average what he's averaging. I believe KD is a better offensively gifted player than Jordan.
But it's more
about he doesn't average 40 points.
But what you gotta this is what happens when you take out the unbiased and you take out like the factors and shit like that. Like, I have to think about stuff psychologically in players. Like,
no, I don't
you have to. In 2016, KD had a 3-1 lead in the playoffs. So if the game is not as physical as it was in the 90s, if you give away a 3-1 lead back then,
dude, back then the game wasn't even. It was just like
you're gonna get hit. You're gonna get hit. KD is way too skinny,
dude. If KD could hand check, I promise you, people couldn't score on him. If KD,
they're hand checking him.
If there's a hand check on KD with his long ass reach, you're telling me people can score on KD? There's no way. Back then they're literally offensive pass interference.
But Pippen can make it hard on him. And Pippen's prime, Pippen can make it very hard on Kevin Durant.
We can talk about Pippen another day. We can talk Pippen on another day. The most overrated basketball player in the history of the league. I guess behind Dennis Rodman. We can talk about that too. We can also talk about
interesting
how Jordan's supporting cast isn't all that great.
You're wild. Ron Harper wasn't that great?
Hell no. He's a cool player that people have over glamorized because he's 6'6".
You're really smoking dope,
and
bro.
He can apparently everybody on the Bulls can guard Steph because they're taller than him. That's basically, dude. That 72-9 team is not the greatest team ever. That Showtime team will destroy them.
The 87 Lakers.
Yeah, this isn't even like a question. Jordan's team wasn't like fully loaded as people think. Jordan is just that guy.
Pippen was a top 5 player, bro. In that.
He's cool.
If he wasn't a top 5, he was a top 10. And if he's a top 10 of the 90s,
he's cool.
That's
he's
good.
Cool. He's a cool player. He's cool.
You have a top.
Who were the top 10? Who were the top players in the 90s?
The top 10 players in the 90s?
I want to see Pippen's career. I mean, accolades too. Because after he left the Bulls, he was nothing. He did nothing in his career.
He was out of his prime. Can you like relax?
And when Jordan was out of his prime, he was still kicking people's asses on the Wizards.
Not shooting such a great percentage. So
we can bring up all these stats. We can bring up all these stats.
Clyde Drexler.
He's better than Scottie Pippen.
I agree. Gary Payton, Patrick Ewing. They got Shaq on here. Scottie, David Robinson, Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, Hakeem, and Jordan.
He's on the bottom low of that list. But I mean, that's cool. That's cool. What are we arguing? This is basically what you're arguing. Because his team went 73, what is it, 72-9?
72 and 10.
72-10. Basically, everybody thinks that team is loaded. Now let me do the argument. When the Warriors went 73-9, that team is not loaded. It's literally Steph, Draymond Green, who's not a top 75 player of all time, and Clay, who's a borderline top 75 player, who's not even a top 10 player. He's not a top 10 player at that time.
But they had a bench. They had a great team.
That's cool.
That's a loaded team.
That don't matter in the playoffs as much. But what I'm saying is
they would have won the championship that year easily.
I just think Steph Curry was just so much better than everybody else that year. I just think Jordan is so much better than everybody else that year. And everybody's always said, well, when Jordan left, they went blah 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 blah.
Yeah. What do you have to say?
The year after that? What happened the year after that?
But what do you have to say about that year?
They were a train wreck. I mean, they have a cool year. Scottie had a cool year. Draymond Green was a top 5 MVP voter getter. He was in the top 5 in the MVP conversation one year. Draymond Green.
Okay, so what are you saying?
I'm saying people can have a good year. That doesn't mean Isaiah Thomas was a top 5 MVP getter. He was in the top 5 in the MVP one year. Same thing as Draymond Green. And you're telling
wait, your mic. Your mic. Did you unplug it? It's
this whole thing is. We gotta go. I gotta go now.
There you go. Isaiah Thomas, what? Go ahead.
Did it just unplug now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Isaiah Thomas and Draymond Green finished in the top 5 in an MVP one year. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Does that mean they're a good
that year? Yes.
So a player can have a good year.
So what does that have to do? Okay, so
Scottie Pippen had one good year.
He had one good year. Scottie Pippen had one good year
without Jordan.
I'm not the Scottie defender, but I gotta be the Scottie defender against niggas like you because y'all motherfuckers act like Scottie did not.
He's a cool player. He's a top.
He's a great player. He's a top 75 player of all time.
Yeah.
Okay,
but
then what?
He's not.
What are we saying? So that's a super team. You got two top 75s.
But he's not that. He's not that dude.
Rodman is on top 75. So
Rodman's not really a top 75 player.
That's what you think, but he was voted that.
No,
so I have 3 top 75 players on one team.
You have 2. No, Rodman. First of all, Rodman was like poop after the Bulls. He was on his like last limb.
He was on his last limb, but he defended Karl Malone for 2 finals and got hella rebounds and did everything that he needed to do.
Because first of all, on the last play, Jordan got the steal on the last play. Anyways, I'm just saying. Jordan is that dude. Steph Curry were that dude. They did not have loaded teams. Their teams were cool. LeBron has had times 3 of the talent that they have. Times 3 of the talent they. I mean, he has AD, who was a top 5 player coming into this year.
Okay.
And they're trash.
So your point is
just AD himself is more talented than any other players that.
Okay,
Steph Curry or Jordan have had.
let me ask you that. Let me ask you this: is that why you say Jordan is your GOAT? Because he didn't play with the level of talent that LeBron did.
I just think Jordan is just better.
Because Jordan didn't play the competition. Player. Jordan didn't play the competition that LeBron played. Jordan did not play the competition.
He was the competition.
Stop. I hate when y'all use that. I hate when y'all use that narrative about Jordan. I hate when you guys use.
Who's your top 5 players ever? Who's your top 5 players ever? In order.
I don't do those lists.
Okay, top 5 greatest players ever.
I don't do. Can you listen? Bad. Can you listen? Why I don't do the list? Because I have my guards and then I have the centers.
I don't care.
So I can't rank. I don't rank centers. I don't rank centers in my top 5.
Okay, then don't rank them.
Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, Bird, Magic. Actually, Magic's before Bird.
So that's your top 5.
That's my top 5 without centers.
Can I? No. Okay. No, that's your top 5.
Okay.
You don't have. Okay. My top 5 is totally different.
Okay. Let me hear your top 5.
I gotta reinvent this list again because I just off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But number 1 is Michael.
Okay.
Jeffrey Jordan.
All right.
Number 2 is Michael. No. Number 2 is
1
LeBron.
through 5, Michael.
Number 2 is LeBron.
Okay.
3 is Kareem.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 4 is Wilt just cause. But this could be, and 5 is Magic. That is my top 5. But 4 and 5 could really be is interchangeable.
From like how many different players?
Oh wait, no, with Magic and Wills.
Oh,
That's
okay.
it.
Oh,
That's
so you don't think?
I think that is solidified my top 5. Kobe is not in my top 5.
Wild.
I think Kobe is 10th. 9 or 10. I think Tim Duncan's better.
Oh, you're what?
I think Shaquille O'Neal's way better than him. You'd rather have Kobe over Shaq?
We're having a no. Can you? Yes.
Anyway,
yes.
we're gonna-
No.
You'd rather have Kobe over Shaq?
Hold on.
Wait, this is for a
We're
later
having.
video. Yeah, this is for a later video.
No, we're having a Kobe versus Tim right now. We're having a Kobe versus Tim right now. We have to have Kobe versus Tim.
Well, Tim is just taller, better skilled, probably easier to coach.
He's better skilled. He's better skilled.
And he's lasted.
He's better skilled.
He lasted longer. Like Kobe's like.
How many rings did they both end up with?
Kobe had
So
5.
what do you mean lasted longer?
Well, because he was more in after Shaq left him, he was in no man's land until they had Paul Gasol. What are you talking about?
Was he not great? Was he not
they weren't
basketball
even good.
player? Basketball player was Kobe.
Bro, I thought we were talking about greatest. Are we talking about greatest? What are we talking about? Best? What are we talking about? Anyways, Tim.
You really think Tim Duncan is a better basketball player than Kobe Bryant? Are we really?
Yeah.
Are we really gonna do this? Are we really gonna do this?
I think
basketball
he's on my
player.
list. He lasted so much longer.
What do you mean lasted longer? Because he had a better team around him in 13 and 14. He had Kawhi Leonard.
he was
Kawhi
good,
Leonard's
though.
a top 75
He wasn't
greatest
back
player.
then, though. He wasn't even close. He wasn't even an all-star back then.
He was.
He wasn't even an all-star back then. He wasn't even an all-star back then.
So
he was a baby.
So a baby Kawhi, Manu Ginobili,
This man
Tony
took
Parker,
Tony
the
Parker,
system.
a bald-headed Manu Ginobili.
Can you
Tony
stop
Parker.
and act like that Spurs team was not? You acting like Tim Duncan literally was a driving force. He would have won the Finals MVP then.
Bro, the
he
team
would have
they
won the
played
Finals
against-
MVP then.
Because he's that good. Kawhi.
You're wild.
Dude,
Just
Tim
because of those 2 extra years, you think he's better than Kobe? After Kobe was great for.
I don't think Kobe. I just think I just think he's better. He's taller.
I mean, look at the
And do you have
versus.
Shaq? Is Shaq above your?
Kobe is definitely above Shaq.
Oh no, that's not even a question.
Just because you have 4 or 5 prime years that were probably the best prime years we've ever seen.
If you had to make a team, you would rather start it with prime Kobe than a prime Shaq.
Yes, 100%.
Oh, no, you're crazy.
You're a wildin'.
Oh, you're crazy. You're crazy. Oh, because you don't like centers. He don't even like centers. I'm talking to a guy that don't like centers.
I'm saying
centers are genetically gifted already.
Okay, but if I'm making a generic list, I have to put my centers there. I'm gonna put Kareem in. Of course, Kareem is maybe the best basketball player of all time.
He's not, but
I mean, he has the accolades for it. I mean, when you talk about high school, college, and the NBA,
I'm not talking about that.
We're talking about basketball players. We're not talking about NBA. We're talking about basketball players. Kareem has the most decorated resume in NBA in basketball history.
That's fine.
So he has to be considered. As some people do, consider him as the greatest player of all time.
He's not Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
But I can't believe.
We're not even talking about that. We're not even talking about that.
Yeah, we're talking about.
Can I talk about my list? Are we doing a top 10 list now? Wait, top 10 list with centers. Is Wilt in your top 10? Because if Wilt's not better than Kobe, is Wilt not better than Kobe?
I would put Kobe over Wilt only because
you're crazy. No,
of the era.
Okay.
Kobe scored 81 in this era. Wilt scored 100 in an era when he was guarded by white guys. So
what was the average height then? Because it's the same. I've looked it up. The average height is.
Stop it, Sam. Stop.
Wait. What is
he
your
was
top
a giant
10
amongst boys.
What is your top 10?
I can't do a top 10 list off the top of my head.
Okay, then I don't want to talk about Kobe and Tim Duncan because I think there's an argument. I would rather have Tim Duncan than Kobe.
There's an argument, but it's not. You can say there's an argument, but it's.
Who's your top? Okay, so who is your top 10 then? Because you already gave me 5. And now you just add a couple centers.
I add Kareem. I add Wilt.
Yeah, don't tell me in order.
I add Tim Duncan.
That's 3.
Yeah, so
you need
I have
two more in your bottom half of your top 5, with no order. I'm just talking about players.
So I've already said Jordan, LeBron, Kobe.
I want to see the NBA list because didn't they have Oscar Robertson there?
No, they had an ESPN. They had
Oscar Robertson's not a top 5, top 10 player ever. That's not even a debate.
And Shaq wasn't even on that list.
Yeah, Shaq is definitely on that list. Who's your bottom 2?
Did I already say Shaq? You said Wilt,
Shaq,
Kareem,
Wilt.
Shaq, Kareem, Wilt.
That's 3. You still have 2 more.
Bill Russell.
Oh yeah, he's on mine. But apparently when you play with white guys, it can't. But apparently when you play with white guys,
he has 11 rings. He
doesn't
doesn't just have one ring. Wilt only has a ring. Wilt only has one ring.
Apparently, if you play against just white guys,
Wilt only has one ring.
I mean, what was his team?
What do you mean? What was his team? He had Jerry West.
Yeah, dude, he was old as hell.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Anyways, continue.
Beat Bill Russell more than one time.
But
then
continue.
Is KD gonna be Hakeem?
Oh hell no! Wait, what was on their list?
Their list was Jordan.
Hakeem.
Their list was Jordan, LeBron, Kareem, Magic, Wilt, Bill Russell, Larry Bird, Tim Duncan, Oscar Robinson, Kobe Bryant.
Oscar's not on that list. When I said Kobe is 9 or 10, it's interchangeable between Tim Duncan and him. But I would probably because
you're putting Larry Bird over Kobe.
Probably, yeah. I would say so.
After he scored 9 points in his, never mind.
I mean, I would.
Never mind. I mean, I'm not gonna argue. That's why the top 10 lists are something that I don't like to talk about because I'm not gonna argue with somebody's top 10. But
okay, I mean,
the centers. How you do a top 10 is so hard because you have your centers and you have your guards and forwards. It's different. It's just different to me.
Not to me, because in NBA, when you have a genetic advantage in anything in life, you're just automatically just better than the average people. That's just how it works.
True.
So when you have a genetic advantage, and you're good at playing basketball, you're probably really good. That's why you have all these giants on the list.
True. But we have to get a refined list of how do you qualify somebody? Like, you have a different criteria of what you deem great and best.
Rings don't mean everything to me. Rings don't mean everything. But apparently to you, they do.
Rings mean something.
I don't know.
Rings mean something.
I think when you talk about...
So where's Steph in your top... Where's Steph in your top
10? No.
Where's Steph then?
He's behind KD. But wait.
He's behind KD.
I want to address people because I use the 7th or 8th time All-Star as like a criteria to get in the top 25.
Okay.
And I basically said rings don't mean anything. When I said when I mean by like 7 or 8 time All-Star, these are for people we have no idea who they are.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the people we're talking about.
Lenny Wilkins
Dave Bing
but if he was a 7 or 8 time All-Star, he's probably really good.
Yeah.
That's where my criteria was going in. But I'm just talking about who you are as a player.
And you think
because LeBron, how many? He has 4 rings. What, 3, 4?
4 rings.
Okay, I mean, and he's above Kobe in my book, right?
And Magic and Bird.
Magic has 5, 4.
Magic has 5.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So Bird has how many?
Bird has 3.
Oh wow, I don't even know these numbers. I mean, see, that's how much like it doesn't matter to me. This ring conversation, like.
I mean, this guy wants to argue Reggie, wants to disrespect Kobe, you know.
Whoa, what's disrespectful? He's in my top 10.
But he's at the end.
So?
I mean, it's not disrespectful. I wouldn't say it was disrespectful.
You'd rather have him over
I'm not mad at it. But I would definitely have him over Wilt, Tim, Shaq, Bird.
You'd have him over Shaq?
Bro, Shaq had 3-4 years.
Crazy, dude.
3-4 years of
Shaq's the reason why he has 2 of those rings.
And Kobe's the reason why he has 3 other rings too.
3 of the rings?
Yeah.
Nah, not as much as Shaq. No.
Yeah,
way.
when Shaq fouled out in 2000.
Nah, we can talk about this later, but this is more of like, the Jordan Pippen. He was the Pippen. Shaq was the Jordan.
But it was more of a dynamic duo versus
I don't believe
Batman
that.
Robin.
I don't believe that.
I mean, we can look at the numbers.
So much more better than Scottie Pippen.
I mean, but we can look at the playoff numbers between.
But this is my list. This is my
list. No, you're Batman Robin. I 100% understand when it comes to Scottie and Mike.
I think Steph Curry is so much better than Klay Thompson.
I can agree.
And I don't think Klay Thompson is a top 75 player. I don't think he should have been on that list. But I don't think
But he'll get his due in
I don't think that's to go back to that 73 and 9 team. I think when you put that team on paper, I think when you put that 73 and 9 team on paper, you're gonna be like, wow, this team is kind of trash compared to the great teams.
I mean, it's like that with every team. It's like that with every team.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Are you kidding me?
It's like that with every team. Except for like the super
I mean,
teams. Like the KD next year. It's KD with the Warriors next year.
I'm talking about that's a crazy team.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is the 73 and 9 team was a very, very good team. No,
they were not a good team.
You're wilding, bro.
They were not a good team. He made it a good team. They literally had they literally had one player in the top 75 on that team. That's crazy to you. Is that not crazy to you? One player in the top 75 on a team that went 73 and 9. And he had to go against Jordan. Wait. He had to go against LeBron, Kevin Love, Kyrie. Kevin Love is whatever. So Kyrie is a top 75 player.
So
Kyrie is a top 75 player.
Do you think the 08 Celtics are better than the 2016 Warriors?
08. Wait, the 73 and 9?
Yeah.
Probably not. I think they were probably taken. But I mean, I couldn't argue that. I mean, I think you can argue either way. But I think that team was I think it was like a LeBron team away from being good, for winning the chip. I think it was only LeBron. I think that team was well oiled, but on paper that talent is just not as talented as the 08 Celtics. They're just not as talented. There's no way.